labeling enemies, shielding allies, the dangerous hypocrisy of political narratives. When U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio declares that Nicolas Maduro is not a president but the head of a narco-terrorist organization, he is not merely making an accusation. He is deploying a political label, one with extraordinary consequences. Such language is not neutral. It is a tool that can justify sanctions, covert action, and even military force, often outside the bounds of international law. If this narrative is to be accepted as legitimate, then consistency demands the same standard be applied universally. By that logic, Benjamin Netanyahu would not be described as a prime minister either, but as the leader of a state apparatus accused of genocide and crimes against humanity against the Palestinian people, and, by extension, actions that endanger Israelis themselves. This is not rhetorical excess. It is grounded in ongoing legal scrutiny and findings by international bodies. The power of labels and their selective use. Words like narco-terrorist, terrorist state, or criminal regime are not judicial verdicts. They are political instruments. Once affixed, they bypass due process and replace courts with press conferences. The target is delegitimized. The actor applying the label claims moral authority. But authority without consistency is not justice, it is power politics. Maduro is accused, without an international arrest warrant, of drug trafficking and terrorism. Netanyahu, meanwhile, faces unprecedented legal peril as the International Criminal Court moves toward accountability for alleged atrocities in Gaza. Yet Washington's response diverges sharply. Condemnation and pressure for adversaries, rejection and protection for allies. Law for some, immunity for others. If allegations alone suffice to erase a leader's legitimacy, then legitimacy itself becomes conditional on alignment with U.S. interests. International law ceases to be a universal framework and becomes a menu, invoked selectively, ignored conveniently. This approach corrodes the global order. It tells the world that law is not a shield for the weak but a weapon for the strong. Genocide by any other name. The term genocide is not ideological. It is legal. It refers to acts committed with intent to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. Civilian death on a massive scale, the destruction of infrastructure essential to life, and forced displacement are not collateral narratives. They are the substance of international criminal law. If Maduro is to be branded a criminal without trial, then Netanyahu cannot be insulated from scrutiny when credible allegations, supported by evidence and legal process, are brought forward. Anything less is institutional hypocrisy. The cost of double standards. This selective morality invites a perilous precedent. If the United States can unilaterally decide who is a criminal leader, what prevents Russia or China from doing the same? The erosion of standards does not stop at one border. It multiplies. History shows where this leads: escalation, retaliation, and the normalization of force over law. Choose law or abandon it. The world cannot afford a system where accusations replace courts and alliances replace evidence. Either international law applies to all or it protects none. Either genocide is condemned wherever it occurs, or the word becomes propaganda. Labeling Maduro a criminal while shielding Netanyahu from accountability is not principled diplomacy. It is raw power dressed as justice. And when power replaces law, the global order moves one step closer to chaos. In that chaos, no nation, ally, or adversary will be safe.